Hey, how's it going, guys? BT Gaming here, back with another video, and I wanted to take a look at version 5.4 since we are here. And with this version, we have a new character in Yumemizuki Mizuki. So I did want to go ahead and take a look at that and see what is this character all about. But not only that, what does this mean for Genshin Impact moving forward? Is this the start of a new mechanic that we could start to theorize about? And just want to get your guys' thoughts about that. But before we do that, let's take a look at least and see what Mizuki does and kind of try to grapple at what we can expect moving forward. So we are taking a look at Yumemizuki Mizuki. I have not acquired her personally in game, and I'm going to talk about that here first. So she is getting her first banner run, Yumemizuki Mizuki, in version 5.4. After this version, this character is going to be put into the standard banner. So with that being said, she's going to be someone like a Tainari, if you remember that. Dia as well, they had one banner of their own, and then they were put into the standard banner on the following patch cycle. So if you are somebody who you're on the fence, it may be worth it to wait, as you may get her in the standard banner pulls that we just kind of get reoccurring. Or if you wait till the year anniversary, they have actually recently started giving out a 5-star selector for standard banner characters. So she'll be a part of that, and that may be a way to definitely ensure you get her. So let's just take a look here. I know there's going to be lots of guides on the YouTubes, the interrupts about what she does. And so I'm not really going to be doing a guide. I want to talk about this character, my impressions, and what this means for Genshin Impact going forward. So taking a look at her, just a brief overview of her talents, and first of all, what she is a 5-star Anemo Catalyst user. And so kind of what her role seems to be is she really wants to increase the damage of swirl, the swirl reaction. But the really oddity that we notice is that the way she does this is she has to remain on field to do this. So it almost begs a play style of playing with other characters that can apply elements off field while she is on field. So for example, we'll go ahead and take a look at her talents here. Normal attacks are nothing to write home about. They're kind of the normal charge attack, plunging attacks. We look at the scalings here again in the Trial Mizuki. Nothing too crazy there. We go ahead and jump down to her skill, which is where we'll be finding she spends a lot of time. This is where she gets into the state called Dream Drifter. And basically what she does is she'll automatically drift forward. So let's just look at this here, because I think that's kind of interesting that we see. So once you tap her skill, I'm playing on controller, you tap her skill, and she automatically is going to drift forward. I am not touching anything, doing anything. So you have to actually navigate her with your controls if you're a mouse and keyboard, if you're on mobile. So if you use her skill, you're going to want to be aware that you'll need to actually control where she goes. Otherwise, she will literally drift away. So there's that to consider. But when she's in this state, while you have other elements applied, she's going to be able to deal swirl damage, right? Even without elements applied, but it'll just make a lot of sense to have other elements involved in causing these swirls. So while she's doing that, she'll cause swirls, and the damage of the swirl will be increased, and it's going to be based on Yumemizuki's elemental mastery. So as far as building, this is where we kind of get into how you want to skew her stats, right? And so since she scales off of elemental mastery from what we see here in the bulk of her kit, you're going to want to really build into elemental mastery. So if you're looking at artifacts, if you're trying to build her, then a really great set for her, as they show in the trial run, is going to be the Viridescent Veneer. It's an earlier game set. It's also in the strong box. You can kind of really not have to farm this set and kind of use a couple extra 5-stars you might have to strong box for a couple decent pieces. But you notice here that through artifacts, you notice it's about plus 664 in the substats here. We can't really see exactly what they're getting, it looks like, as far as substats. I don't think, yep, actually we do. So Circlet's EM looks like her Goblet's EM, and looks like also the Sand's EM. So this is exactly how you're going to want to build Mizuki if you get her in your account. Elemental Mastery all the way, and some energy recharge wouldn't, be bad, because she does have a burst and can kind of deal additional damage, or can heal you depending on where your HP is, which we'll get into. But basically her talent works like this. You'd pop her after you have your elements done, and she would swirl them all together, and that's kind of what it does. But she has to be on field for that to kind of happen there. Then we'll kind of hop down to her burst, which kind of happens in a way that she'll be able to do like one instance of AoE anemo damage, and it will have a little bit of AoE to pull enemies in, and from that depending on the condition here, she can trigger healing based on where your HP is. So if your HP is higher than 70%, then the stacks will explode and they'll deal damage. But otherwise, she'll also allow you to heal if there's another condition met there if you are below that 70% threshold. So kind of a little bit interesting. She can kind of play the role of a healer, it seems like, and that's kind of really what you see in her kit. As far as what she does, very, very simple comparatively to what we've had with the Natlan characters we've been getting, right? Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. You build her with Elemental Mastery, and you pretty much kind of get your supports going, throw the off-field stuff on, throw her down, just swirl stuff. I think she'll be pretty decent when it comes to dealing with multiple waves of enemies. So things like Taser could be really cool to play around with, and other comps that kind of are good for getting characters that are where there's a lot of characters. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll get an Abyss that kind of skews towards her to helping her be more in that type of meta. But speaking of that, I do want to jump to what does this mean for Genshin Impact moving forward, because right, we're in version 5.4. The Natlan quest as a whole has kind of been completed, right? And so I do want to take a moment to hopefully speak to what this means for us in Genshin Impact, right? So as far as Mizuki goes, she has been put in, and I don't think Hoyo does anything by accident. I don't think they are doing this as, oh yeah, here's this random character. I mean, Aloy, you know, that was kind of random. But Mizuki, I think that this is probably a little bit of a snapshot as far as what we're going to see to come in the future. It is kind of weird that she has to be on field to do the swirls. It'd be really cool if she could summon like her pet or something that would have let her swirl while you have another character that can do some stuff. I think that would have been a cool thing to see. But with Genshin Impact moving forward, we have new characters coming out, and we're eventually going to be transitioning to a new region, right? Natlan is, again, we've saved Natlan from the crisis that they were facing from the Night Kingdom and the Abyss and everything going on there. And so now we kind of have to start to look forward. And this is about the time that Genshin will start to do that. We kind of get into the summer months as well, where they kind of see maybe like another island event, and we kind of get an idea of the different mechanics that we'll get to see through different events, different characters. And so Mizuki, I think, is no different. There's going to be something in our upcoming meta that is probably going to be along this playstyle, where now maybe characters that can support a character like this might be what we'll see. So you can kind of have a character on field while you kind of have all of your supporting cast doing their thing. Kind of like a, not quite a DPS in the traditional sense, but she can offer something different. So I don't know, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on what does this mean for Genshin moving forward when they introduce a character like this, right? Because I'm trying to piece it together, and so far I really have not been able to, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But guys, that's all I've got for us tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying the version 5.4 patch as it is currently live. Claim your premium gems from the mail. Do your story quests because they don't require keys. I mean, we got some cool little quality of life things. So hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video, and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the live stream as well. Take care, and as always, stay safe. Peace.